Hey, how's everybody doing? I feel like I'm sneaking in the back door here of Sea of Tranquility channel, but Pete said that I was allowed to do a listening room episode, and I was looking forward to doing this. So I'm Steve Keeler from Rock Fantasy Records in Middletown. Of course, you've seen me on the Hudson Valley Squares a bunch of times, and Pete's been in my shop. I brought along my good buddy Jaymz Delisle, also from the Rock Fantasy Files channel. James also works at the Disc and Dat record shop over in Connecticut, and is a right now the current bass player for the thrash metal band Crucial Pain. We're both honored to be part of the Sea of Tranquility's listening room series. So I hope they'll ask us back after this. I've got 5 albums I'm going to talk about tonight. I've been playing them on heavy rotation on my trips to the gym, on the hiking trails, and of course on the turntable in my shop. Uh, James, how's it going tonight? How many do you got a couple records to talk about too?
Absolutely. I'm doing okay, dealing with the seasonal depression. I'm ready for
Oh
winter to
yeah.
be over with. Um,
This is an old fashioned winter for sure. Snow and
that's-
now it's cold
absolutely.
and now it's supposed to snow like seems like every other day for the next week. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, I got five as well. So we're gonna go five
also,
for five.
and we're going to try to keep this brief so it runs about 30 minutes. I guess I will start. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start off and do my first 3 albums, and they're more of the newer variety. And then I'll kick back and do the last two, which are classics from the 70s. So maybe I'll
Okay.
start off and do my three. I'll kick it over to you and we'll go back and forth. The first
Sounds good.
the first 2 albums I'm going to chat on both have the same vocalist, actually, 2 different bands. It's Michael Stahn, best known as a vocalist and primary lyricist, and the former guitarist, actually. He was a guitarist in the melodic death metal band Dark Tranquility. The first album I'll be talking about is The Halo Effect. They were founded in 2019 by 5 former members of the Swedish metal band In Flames. The founder, Jesper Stromblad, early vocalist Michael Stahn, of course, longtime members Nicholas Engelin, Peter Iwers, and Daniel Svensson have reformed this band. Their stated motivation was the return to the roots of the 1990s Gothenburg sound that pioneered the melodic death metal genre. The band's name references the song Halo Effect on Rush's Clockwork Angel, something I didn't know till today. And the album I'm talking about is The March of the Unheard. It's the second studio album by them. It came out on January 10th of 2025. So it's brand new. We've been playing it a ton in the shop, and this is what it looks like. I'm not fancy. I don't have it coming up on my screen, but gatefold with a band photo inside. And the songs that I would say that I've been digging the most, even though I love the whole record, when I play this record, I play it in its entirety, whether it's on my Spotify when I'm at the gym or out hiking or something, or on the turntable. Of course, you're going to listen to side one more than anything else, but you keep flipping it over as customers come in and out. But Cruel Perception is also a video. That's a song I like a lot on it. Detonate, another great song. What We Become. And like I said, this is rather new. I've had it about 2 or 3 weeks, so I'm sure some more songs will grow on me. But that's the first album I'm talking about tonight, Halo Effects. So if you like Old In Flames, you like Dark Tranquility, I think you're going to dig it. It does have a lot of the same vocal styles that he's famous for in Dark Tranquility. The second album I'm talking about is from Cemetery Skyline, which is another album that came out. And this band was actually formed in 2024. They released their first album, which is Nordic Gothic, October 11th of last year, through Century Media. The founding members are Michael Stahn from Dark Tranquility, Marcus Van Halla, who plays currently as guitar in Insomnium and Omnium Gatherum, Santiro Kalia. I'm not going to pronounce some of these names correctly, but Santiro Kalia, the keyboard player from Amorphous, Victor Brandt, who played in Dimya Borgia, and Veza Ranta, who played in Sentence. So it's another sort of supergroup, like the other band was before. That's a bunch of guys getting together. And this album's a lot different because Michael does not do his pats, it's his growl vocals. It's all very melodic, but great. It sounds great. His voice is amazing and it's very catchy. Like you go and listen to this, you're going to get some of these songs in your head. Some of the tracks that stick out for me is A Violent Storm. It's just such a great song. In Darkness, Torn Away, and The Darkest Night, I would say, are my standout tracks from this. But if you like stuff like Insomnium, and it's really nothing like Dark Tranquility, because I remember getting this back and putting it on during like the holiday season and like, it's kind of mellow. I'm waiting for Michael to do like his patented growls, which didn't happen, but the album really grows on you. My third album is completely different. It's also from overseas. My third album is by the Ukrainian groove progressive metalcore band Ginger, fronted by Tatiana Smok, which I'm not pronouncing correctly either. I'm a little nervous being on Pete's channel by myself tonight without Pete's guidance here. Right. So, like, but Tatiana, in my opinion, is one of the fiercest front persons in metal, with her awesome vocal range and her stage presence. I mean, she can sing nice. She can do growls and guttural like death metal stuff, like no one. And if you didn't see it in person, you would kind of think, well, she's probably the singer, probably somebody else in the band is doing the growls. But no, she does everything. I got to catch them last fall at the Metal Injection Fest, and I was right up on the stage, and they did not disappoint. So the album I was talking about is Micro. It's their 2019 album. It came out October 19th. Tracks are tough to pick because I love this whole album from front to start. And I'm going to say Home Back is a really great song. It's a lot. It's about the war, I believe, and being in like a peaceful place, then going into a war like zone. Noah, which is about Noah from the Bible, and it's just about things that can go wrong with it. It's a great track. And Retrospection, which is partially sung in Ukrainian in parts, but it's just this really mellow song that gets heavy. Judgment and Punishment, it even has like some reggae flavor to it. So this band's all over the place. It's like there's a lot of bass, there's a lot of like mellowness, and it gets broken down, like very progressive at times. Then it's as heavy as everything, maybe like Lamb of God. There's the death metal parts. And Pausing Death is yet another song that I like a lot, but it's a solid album. I'm waiting patiently on their new album Duel, which drops later this week. I can't wait to hear that. I got the advanced pressing from Napalm over the airwaves to listen to, and I've been digging the tracks that haven't been released, so anxiously awaiting to get that into the shop. So now I'm going to pass the baton over to James. Welcome to the show tonight, and I'm sure you've got some interesting titles to chat about also.
Absolutely. I got to get my hands on that Halo effect. I love the first one. That was really great. So I got to get my hands on a new one.
Yeah, it's solid.
I got So my first one I'm going to talk about is the new Tremonti album.
Okay.
The End Will Show Us How. I love Mark Tremonti. Great guitar player. His solo shit is a lot heavier than what you would get from him in Alter Bridge and Creed, even though I like both of those bands as well. But yeah, this is a good one. I'm still kind of digesting it. It's literally brand new. It just came out 2 weeks ago. But the opening track on here, The Mother of the Earth and I, is very good. Nails is a great song. The title track on this is awesome. And Live in Fear is another one I really dig off this. Lots of killer guitar work, great vocals as always, great songwriting as always. He's just got such a different style of writing and playing, and I always find something in any album he's on where I'm like, wow, that's a really cool part, or that's a really great chorus, or just good stuff. If you like
Mm-hmm.
all the other earlier Tremonti records, you should definitely check that one out.
Cool.
Next one is Trouble, the Distortion Field. I've been listening to this a lot lately, bringing it to work and spinning it at the record store. And this is so far the one and only album that has Kyle Thomas on vocals. Kyle, also of the band X Order, and
Mm-hmm.
he spent a little time in Alabama Thunder Pussy, and he's also had a one-off band that I really love called Floodgate. That was really cool. This is a fantastic album. It's Trouble's not reinventing the wheel, even though they have a new singer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want. I want Trouble to sound like Trouble, and that's what it sounds like on
When
here.
when did this album come out? Recently?
2013.
Oh, 2013. Wow, I'm so it's not recent. Yeah, so yeah. Okay.
No,
All right.
no, this is the 2013 album. It got
So it's about
re-released.
12 years old now already. Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, and we're still waiting for a follow-up to it.
Mm,
They recently said that they're working on new stuff. I hope we get a new one soon because I'm fiending for it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Hammerheart Records re-released the entire back catalog of Trouble back in 2022,
Mm-hmm.
and that included this album. So go get that. I think they still have cassette copies of it as well. Check that out with the white old
Wow.
school
That's cool.
cartridge. So yeah, favorite tracks on this one for me are The Broken Have Spoken. I love that song so much. I have to always go back and repeat that one. One Life is a great, slow, sludgy tune that just really grabs you by the balls.
Mm-hmm.
Butterflies, no, not Butterflies. Glass of Lies is a great tune, really bluesy riffs in it, up tempo. And Your Reflection is another really killer, sludgy one off this. And I really like The Graying Chill of Autumn is a cool song on here. It starts very kind of psychedelic and then turns almost thrashy a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Very good stuff. And the tune Have I Told You is really cool. It's a very good kind of almost Hendrixy ballad. Good
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Cool.
And my number three is going to be, speaking of one offs, Mad Season,
Wow.
Above.
Classic.
I can't believe this album is going to turn 30 years old this year.
Wow.
Crazy. I remember buying this the day it came out.
Mm-hmm.
This is an album I really like to spin first thing in the morning on Sunday, opening up the record store, light some incense, and
Mm-hmm.
put this CD on. It's like a perfect mood balancer for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Great dreary grunge.
Mm-hmm.
It opens with "Wake Up," which is a fantastic song. Everybody knows "River of Deceit." That's the big giant hit off this from when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Artificial Red is really cool. X-Ray Mind, I'm Above. There's nothing bad on this. It's a super group of grunge guys in their prime.
Mm-hmm.
Lane Staley from Alice in Chains, Mike McCready from Pearl Jam, and the rhythm section is from the Screaming Trees. So
Mm-hmm.
if you dig grunge, you need this. And it's an album that doesn't really get talked about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to Nevermind and 10 and Bad Motorfinger, this one kind of takes a back seat. But I put this above all those records.
Mm-hmm.
So add
Cool.
that to your collection, kids.
All right. So my next two, as I breeze through this, my fourth album is Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti. I was doing my homework on this about for 2 weeks and just going over and over with this record. We had the band Kashmir, the Led Zeppelin experience in Middletown last Saturday night, and I'm buddies with the drummer David Blampy. They came into town and they put on a spectacular performance of Led Zeppelin. We were sitting about maybe 50 feet back from the stage, and I tell you, you sat back and kind of drifted off, and if you close your eyes, it sounded just like Zeppelin live.
That's
And you
awesome.
and you kind of squinted your eyes and looked at them, and it looked like Led Zeppelin. Like the singer had everything down pat. So, of
He
course,
looks like Robert Plant.
yeah, we had him when we were talking with them. So we featured this on, my channel a week or so ago. But it's just been listening to it too much. And this is what we're listening to. Of course, it was a double album. It was released on February 24th, 75 in the United States. And it was the group's first album to release under the new label Swan Songs Records. My favorite tracks have changed a little bit from last week. I think they could change by tomorrow again. It's such good songs on this record. And how do you pick just like three or four? But I'm going to go with the Wonton song still for number one. I just love that song so much. In My Time of Dying is going to be probably like the second song I would pick. Houses of the Holy, which should have been on Houses of the Holy probably, but they didn't put it on. Which should have been the title track of the Houses of the Holy record, but it was on this
I'm glad
record.
they saved it for this one.
Yeah, they saved it for this one. And after hearing the band do it the other night, and they were talking about it, Gene was the singer, and it's like In the Light,
It's
man,
a
they
good
get
song.
that keyboards and it goes into
Yeah.
that, and it's such a great song. Of course, I'm leaving out all the other songs, but Led Zeppelin Physical Graffiti has been on my headphones, on my turntable, on my Spotify. And the last one is going to probably not be something that people are going to think that I'm going to pick, but I've been on a little bit of a Jethro Tull kick lately.
Mm.
So my fifth pick for the night is Jethro Tull's Heavy Horses. Uh, I was listening to a couple of the albums, like Songs from the Wood too, and I've been listening to Benefit in the shop, and just out of the blue, it's like put on some Tull, man. It sounds great. And this is my bucket list band, a time machine band that I wish I could go back to see in the 70s because they had such a crazy stage presence and everything else. And I really love watching the old videos of Ian Anderson on stage. And some people said it's almost creepy how intense he gets. But anyhow, it's released on April 10th in 1978. It's the 11th studio album by Jethro Tull. My tracks on this are No Lullaby, freaking song Rover. It's just amazing too. And I love the opening track and the mouse police that never sleeps. In fact, I was just watching a video on this TV show on YouTube. It's from Rockapop. It's like a German TV show. It's kind of like an American Bandstand. You got a bunch of young kids sitting around the stage, and those kids were stunned and sitting silent, and I think motionless. And we were all a few people in the store watching this the other day, and the kids, I think they were slightly terrified. They might not be quite the same after seeing Jethro Tull. They were probably waiting for like ABBA or Casey and the Sunshine, the band to come out, and all of a sudden there's these guys dressed like Revolutionary War soldiers, and him with his flute and crazy faces on stage. And so that's my fifth album. I've been listening a lot more stuff, but we had to whittle it down to five things. And I thought of so many records because I'm home now. Originally going to tape this in the shop, but then I would have had like 30 albums because I got to talk about this one. But thanks, Pete, for letting me be a part of it. And we'll let James round this out tonight with his last two. And thanks for watching the Rock Fantasy Crew on Sea of Tranquility here.
I almost took Physical Graffiti too because of all the listening I did to it. Such a great album. And I am really looking forward to the movie coming out this weekend.
I want to go see that movie. I hope I can get to go see it with all the snowstorms, and hope it's in.
Yeah.
Where do you go see? That's an IMAX only. I think our closest one here is like in Palisades, not Palisades. They have the Palisades Mall in Rockland
Yeah, mine's
County.
in Danbury. It's like I could spit on the theater from where I'm sitting.
Okay, so that's probably not probably about the same amount of distance. Maybe Palisades a little closer, but I know that's an IMAX only release.
At the moment, down the line, they're going to put it in the regular theaters.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
Yeah, no, because I've already seen it for the following Friday and Saturday. It's in the regular.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So my last two, I'm keeping with the grunge theme
All
and
right.
keeping with the one-off grunge theme and going with Temple of the Dog.
Wow.
I love
Okay.
this album so
Yeah,
much.
I haven't heard that in years, but man, I sold tons of those back in the day.
It's just so perfect.
Mm,
There's nothing wrong or bad about this album. And for me, it's the best thing the guys in Pearl Jam ever did musically. And it's also Chris Cornell in top peak vocal form.
mm,
This album really, for me, hits a lot harder now that Chris is gone
mm.
because this album was written and put out as a tribute to his friend Andrew Wood, who was the
Yes.
lead singer for Mother Love Bone.
Hmm.
I've been reading a really cool Chris Cornell biography lately called Total Fucking Godhead,
Mm.
and just found out that the two of them were roommates, and they used to have like songwriting competitions in the house where they would like go in their rooms and write a tune on the 8 track and throw the tapes at each other. So when you read stuff like that and with Chris being gone and you listen to songs like Say Hello to Heaven and Reach Down, it just really kind of rips your heart out that Chris is gone now, man.
Hmm.
Not a bad moment on here. Call Me a Dog. Your Savior, Four Walled World is so good. And the cool thing about this album with Hunger Strike, it's the very first time you ever hear Eddie Vedder's voice on a professional recording because this album came out before Pearl Jam's 10.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, this is one you need to add to your collection, kids. My last one, I know you woke up and saw the news about Black Sabbath today.
I sure did.
So I had to immediately grab one of my top favorite Black Sabbath albums and throw it on the turntable and listen to it a couple times today to celebrate the fact
Hmm.
that Black Sabbath's going to get to do one more show. Ozzy's going to get one last hurrah.
The Swan Song.
Never
Yeah.
say die.
Oh, you're gonna stir up some stuff with that one on this channel with
Good,
Pete and Chris Allen.
good. I know a lot of people can't stand it.
Oh,
It's in my
I
top
love it.
three Black Sabbath albums of all time. There's not a
Top,
dull
whoa,
moment
whoa, whoa,
on here.
whoa, whoa. Top three of Black Sabbath albums of all time.
Yep, number
Wow.
one,
Okay.
Number one, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Number two was Mob Rules, and number three is Never Say Die for me.
Wow. You're gonna
Yeah,
stir up the comments. Stir up the comments here. But
cool.
I
I
love
can
it.
hear the
I,
groans coming.
I love Air Dance. I don't care what anybody says.
Air Dance is fantastic. That's a great song. Shockwave, that beginning of
Mm.
Shockwave just really kicks you right
Yeah.
through to the next room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how it starts. Never Say Die is kind of like a party rock song, and then all of a sudden, Johnny Blade just rips your face off with
Hmm.
that riff. So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Junior's Eyes is a
Mm.
top favorite Black Sabbath song for me because I can relate to it, because my dad was a piece of garbage and
Mm.
left me and my mom hanging when I was a kid. So that
Hmm.
one's always been close to my heart. And Swinging the Chain has got to be one of the nastiest riffs that Tony Iommi ever wrote. So
Hmm.
hate it all you want. It's a fantastic album. Leave comments. Tell me to go to hell. It's cool. I love it. It's a fantastic record.
If you had that record and you were my age and you had it when it came out and spent time at the Jersey Shore, I'm talking like I talked about the Van Halen one on this channel the other night and like going down to the shore and hanging out. Like I love that record. Like you wake up and it's a like hot, humid summer morning. It's a great album to put on if you got like a little hangover. I love that it's got that jazzy stuff. You know,
Yeah,
some of the Sabbath guys can say they didn't like that record, but it's from everybody's different ears. Some people don't like it, but some people find it special. I know John McAtee loves it too. We've done a in defense of that album on another channel at one time, but
oh, really?
yeah. So I did not, Pete. I know you're watching this, and you're gonna maybe you won't even air it now because that's on. But I did not set him up. That was a total surprise to me. So, but yeah, it's a big Black Sabbath day. Can you believe that this giant? It's like a I don't know how it happens in one day. It's like
True.
you got like what it's like Ozfest. I mean, you got
It's like two
Slayer, you got
Ozfests.
Metallica, you got like I'm reading the fine print. It's like Sleep Token. It's all these other
Yeah.
bands too, along with like Jonathan Davis from Korn and Zach Wild, and they invited Jakey Lee there. So it's like Jake.
That made me feel so good seeing his name on that.
So when Ozzy does his final Ozzy performance, is Jakey Lee gonna come up and do Bark at the Moon? You
Sounds
know,
like it.
who knows? But I don't think I can afford. I could probably afford to go if I want to, but with my situation here, I cannot leave for town
Nah.
for that long. So I'm gonna have to watch the videos, and hopefully somebody picks me up a souvenir T-shirt of the gig.
If they're smart, they'll live stream it and make even more money because I'll buy it.
Oh yeah, pay-per-view. Yeah, pay-per-view like Kiss did New Year's Eve when we were all locked up in the
Yep.
pandemic. But we better wrap this up. And I'd like to thank Pete for letting us invade the channel tonight. So
Thanks, Pete.
We'll see you next time on not the Hudson Valley Squares tonight. And it's not Must See TV, but
The listening room.
It's Sea of Tranquility's listening room in the Rock Fantasy Bunker and at the Disc and Dat home headquarters of Jaymz Delisle. So we'll see you next time.